There is growing concern gas prices will be going up even more than usual after a new clean air rule was just passed by the California Air Resources Board on Friday. And joining us this morning is Dean Flores. He's a member of the California Air Resources Board and a former state senator. Thank you so much for being with us this morning. This is one of those things that went through on Friday. I think a lot of people didn't see that they were going to pick it up over the weekend. Now everybody's kind of talking about it, so I appreciate you being here.
Of course.
You know, I know that the state has had a goal to be carbon neutral by 2045. This would help get us there, but there's definitely a cost to it. Can you break that down for us?
Yeah, I mean, obviously everyone wants to see action on climate change. There's things going on internationally. But we took a very important vote on Friday that changed the intensity of fuel. So we're asking all the fuels to take out as much carbon as possible. By doing that, that imposes an additional cost. The unfortunate thing about the vote is that a lot of that information was not really made readily available. So folks really don't know what the increase will be. We do know that oil companies are going to definitely pass this on to the consumer. And this could range anywhere between 65 cents to $1.50 per gallon.
Wow.
And I think one of the most distressful parts about this is that we do make these decisions in Sacramento, and sometimes they're devoid of really understanding the impact on everyday people. And so obviously that was a no vote. The board passed this 12-2 vote. And, you know, I think we're going to have a lot of conversations in Sacramento about this vote now that the vote is now completed. And there's going to be a lot of discussion about gas prices and the impact of this vote on everyday consumers.
Well, it's something I took a look at because we're about $1.50. I think it's around $1.47 higher than the national average. That's where when you start then adding in 68 cents to, you said $1.50 potentially on top of that, you know, so many people are living paycheck to paycheck. And I think last week, you know, we saw voters here in California reject so many propositions that would have increased spending in other areas. We talk about gas prices and the impact that it has on marginalized people specifically. What's the disconnect, do you think? You were just one of two people who voted no on this.
I think the disconnect is just talking to everyday people, being out there and talking and knowing that people are really struggling out there. It's very hard. The groceries are very high. Prices are kind of off the roof. And I think generally adding an additional 65 to $1.50 per gallon is going to really make affordability out of reach. And if no one was watching the election last Tuesday, I think it wasn't just here in California, I think it was nationally. People want to know that the decision makers are keeping the thoughts of what it really costs for all these decisions on everyday people. It's a very simple decision. Yes, we need to push very hard on climate change. Yes, we need to make reductions. But I think when you think about someone at a pump putting in an additional dollar and then adding on to that the cost already that it is compared to other states like Arizona and Nevada, you know, this is not a sustainable decision. And so this thing lasted 12 hours. I mean, this hearing was a very long hearing, lots of debate, but at the end of the day, you vote. And unfortunately, it came on the losing end. But I think as I understand it, the legislature and the governor are going to have a lot of discussions about this next week as they come back to a special session.
Well, that's what I was going to ask you about. There will be discussion in the special session, but are there other things that could be done if this does push its way through? Are we going to maybe see incentives for people to drive more electric cars or, you know, things like that?
Yeah.
What's the answer here?
Well, the answer was supposed to be this rule, which it does include about $22 billion of funds generated from this additional cost on consumers. But unfortunately, those $22 billion go back to the very oil companies and the folks that are already doing biogas. This is nothing different. This is kind of a shell game where we're asking folks to pay higher prices at the pump, but at the same time, the funds generated go back to the very out-of-state companies that produce what's called, you know, biofuel. And biofuel is just another combustible polluting fuel. We could have moved this money to more electric vehicle incentives. We could have moved this money to more hydrogen. We didn't do that last Friday. And unfortunately, it's going to really, I think, hurt consumers more than anything. And I think it really does help the very people that absolutely supported this. And quite frankly, the people that supported it last Friday were really the large oil companies.
All right. Well, as you said, there will be a special session. There'll be more discussion. So, Dean Flores, thank you so much for being with us. We'll continue to check in as this moves through.
Got it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.